Well, we now move on to the interview segment whereby we are joined by David Njugi, who is the CEO of Clean Cooking Association of Kenya, and we shall be taking a look at matches revolving around innovation in clean cooking. And well, according to a recent study by the Kenya cooking sector, it is estimated that complications from household air pollution through inefficient stoves and fuels claims 21,560 lives annually in Kenya, while the most affected people are the women and children below the age of 5 who spend most of their time with their mothers. Well, to kick us off, maybe David, kindly, first of all, welcome to the program, and then maybe to kick us off, tell us why it is important to adopt clean cooking in every Kenyan household, and maybe what are the benefits as well as the disadvantages.
Okay, thank you for having me here today. I'm David from the Clean Cooking Association of Kenya, and as you have said, majority of Kenyans use dirty and polluting fuels to cook, and that has an adverse effect on their health, their environment, as well as their incomes. Health-wise, cooking with dirty and polluting fuels like paraffin, charcoal, firewood, using open fires and inefficient stoves leads to health complications, because we inhale the smoke, what we call the small particles that we inhale while cooking. That go to and spoil our lungs and become susceptible to respiratory diseases and even COVID to that effect. That is what you're calling household air pollution, and because of it, close to 21,560 people lose their lives every year because of that, which is a huge number. And of course, the effect it has on the environment, the degradation of our forests. For us to achieve the 10% minimum forest cover without transitioning to clean cooking will be a dream. So that is also the case. The charcoal that we're talking about, for example, is also not cheap. It's quite expensive if you compare that with gas or with even electric cooking equipment, solutions like bioethanol, biogas. They are cheaper than actually charcoal and cleaner, and of course save the environment.
You've mentioned LPG. So we've seen the 16% VAT imposed on LPG. Do you think this would reverse gains made in eliminating the use of biomass fuels?
It's unfortunate that VAT was reintroduced. Now LPG is now vatable, meaning that the 16% is being passed on to the consumers. It's unfortunate because the uptake was growing, and this is going to decelerate the adoption or the use of LPG in the market. We've requested the government to actually have a look at that again, and we've seen a proposal to reduce it to 8%. But I would say we should be at 0, because we need to promote cleaner forms of cooking, and not only for LPG, for even the other fuels as well. At the moment, they are VAT exempt, that is biogas, bioethanol, and even briquettes, which are made from waste material and all that. So we need government to actually take this matter seriously. We are losing lives, we are losing our forests. It's expensive to the people who are targeted for these solutions. They don't have this money, so it's upon government to actually prioritize clean cooking.
So the government plans to curb Kenya's strong reliance on solid biomass fuels by the year 2028, especially in the rural areas where over 80% of households depend on firewood and charcoal. Do you think this is attainable?
The 2028 target is quite ambitious, I would say. Is it possible? Yes, if everybody plays their part. Government provides the enabling environment. The private sector will automatically respond to that, because one of the issues that we have at the moment is an unpredictable policy environment where, taxes are introduced in an ad hoc manner. We do not have, a tax policy that really guides on how to support a growing sector like clean cooking. So the unpredictability, it doesn't work very well with investors. They want a stable policy environment where they can, project their returns and know where, how to invest. So it's achievable, but it will require policy support, to require mobilizing investments into the sector. And I think the private sector is ready if the government was to provide that enabling environment for them to invest.
Before we take a look at the stakeholders coming in to aid in the curb, maybe what are the immediate interventions that the government can put in place to curb the reliance on solid biomass fuels in Kenya?
What the government needs to do urgently is to provide incentives to the sector. We've requested them to exempt the clean and improved stoves from VAT as well as LPG to make it affordable, because affordability is a key barrier to the adoption and the uptake of this technology. So we've requested that they remove the VAT from the stoves, as well as the gas, the fuels in the sector, so that they are made available, and make sure that this intervention is sustained for at least five years for private sector to really come in, invest, and grow that demand, because we are talking about 70% of households using biomass as of now, which is a lot of people. 59% using open fires, the mawe matatu to cook, which is quite unfortunate. So with incentives coming in place and create the awareness, creating that awareness, then we'll see the uptake actually growing, because awareness is also a key barrier. A lot of people are not aware of the solutions that are available. They are not aware of the impacts cooking with paraffin or those open fires has on their health. They are not aware of the savings that they would actually be making if they were to adopt cleaner options.
As we wind up, Kenya's economy backbone comprises largely of SMEs. In terms of innovation, how can they come in to address this issue, and as well as at the same time factor in stakeholders?
The space, actually, the clean cooking space, is the majority of the players there are actually SMEs. I would say all of them are SMEs. We have, of course, SMEs at different levels. We have the big players, what we could call the bigger SMEs, and the smaller ones, the micro SMEs. So we need to support that ecosystem, because the challenges that SMEs face in any sector are similar. Access to finance is a challenge. They have a challenge in terms of capacity that needs to be addressed. Even the way they operate, the way they do their distribution to enhance. There's need to enhance their operations, their distribution, their marketing. They need finance so that they can grow, they can scale up their production, and as such, government needs to look at it from a holistic point of view. SMEs in the country are hurting because of taxation, because of regulation, and these are issues that need to be addressed. We need to build the capacity of these SMEs. We need to avail to them financing options that are, comfortable, that can address the issues that they are facing, whether it's working capital, whether it's capital to invest in the growth of their business. And these are things that the the government can really support through policy and giving the incentives for them to actually grow their businesses.
Well, that was David Njugi, who is the CEO of Clean Cooking Association of Kenya. Well, thank you so much, sir, for gracing us with your presence here.